Hey, another video on a very hot day. So I'm sweating a bit. But I'm still gonna make this video because I saw that my YouTube channel is growing, and people who subscribed not so long ago might wonder what my main goal is with my channel. Actually, when I started, there were only 35 subscribers, and I just explained what my autoimmune disease was, erythromelalgia, and that I was on a healing journey, and what I tried and what worked and what didn't. And then Corona happened and I made videos about that. And then further into my healing with the carnivore diet, and I started doing more sports, enjoying a little bit more with nature and music. That is where I started more going into reading the Bible and healing me from the inside out. What I think it is what actually accelerated my complete healing from erythromelalgia. So when you're not sick and when you're healthy, you've got a lot of dreams. You want to do a lot of things with your life. But if you're sick, you only have one dream, and that is to get better. So that's why I made it my main goal, like 100% being invested in my healing, and wanted to share it because the doctors had given up on me, because they had exhausted all the treatments that they had to offer to me. So so once you get your health back, you're giving like a new chance in life. And this time I want to do my best not to get sick again. It is also realizing that what actually healed me. Because people might say, you know, is it the carnivore diet? Is it the reduction of the stress? Is it, you know, working a little bit on unhealed trauma from the past? It's often a comorbidity of things why you get sick. It's not like one day to the next, like you get sick and it's just because you have a weak immune system. The cause of it, what weakens you, is exactly the stress, the trauma, the toxic environment, the lack of support from friends and family. And you can, of course, you can eliminate stress, but life without purpose can also cause problems. And you can go on a carnivore diet, but if you undereat and overtrain, then you're still not doing the right thing. And if you have support from your family, but they only trust the doctors and the secular system, then they just get your prescription from the pharmacy and that's all they can do for you. And then, you know, you're up on your own. And when you're, you know, when your car breaks down, you bring it to the garage, right? And when the body gets sick, we have to go to our maker, which is God. So that's where I started to read the Bible. The authority over all. Sola Scriptura, not derived from human interpretation, but from the Holy Spirit. It provides wisdom and instruction on how to live a life that honors God and addresses the fundamental questions of existence, sin, and salvation through Jesus Christ. That's why there are a lot more worship songs. I also recently joined a church because I was looking for a community of like-minded people, because I've always been surrounded by ungodly people. My whole family is basically atheist. And I've been mocked for my belief in God and in Jesus. In my diaries that I now reread for my autobiography, I read that I address God very often, and I was very much a loner because I didn't want to be around people where I felt kind of unloved and being taken advantage of. Because I was always looking for love. You know, I wanted the appreciation for the things I did, and it can be used as a manipulation tactic. And later on I discovered I was looking for love in all the wrong places. You know, it was there all along, like God had never forsaken me. But at my very deepest and the most sick of my healing journey is where I did a suicide attempt, and where I was completely cut off from love, from my family. And that is where I saw that I cannot find support there, and I need to find my own way with Jesus and with God, and do the right thing. you know. So I had like this second chance in life. So now I want to do things the right way, you know. It's a little bit late in life, you know. I'm almost like 47, but it's never too late. And I always said like all these wasted years in my life, you know, and just now I'm just reading the Bible just now, and but God will restore wasted years of your life, and He has a plan for you. And everything that happened to me, like in the story of Job in the Bible, it is for a purpose. So my pain has purpose, and having gone through the suffering of my autoimmune disease has made me realize that you are stronger than you think you are. And there are still things to enjoy in life in spite of all the suffering and the pain. And it's so easy for people to say who have never experienced real suffering. Because at my deepest, this is like I was sitting in front of the airco all day. Like I couldn't stand anything above 11 degrees, and I would get all these weird flare-ups, asymmetrical flushing, and all these. It was a terrible, terrible pain. I've never experienced such a thing. But even then, I was still going into nature and trying to find beauty in all the small things. You know, in Canada, my life was all in order. I had my own home. I got a good career as a French teacher at the Canadian government. And then all of a sudden, I lost everything, including my health. And I went to Canada to get away from my narcissistic family and to get a life of my own. And then my father got sick, and then I got thrown back into, you know, the hol van de leeuw is what we say in Dutch. It's like you're going back. That's where the sickness got worse. And when bad company corrupts good morals. So if you're around toxic people, you will not heal. So I had to take my distance from people who did not have my best interests at heart. And that is what happened. So that's why I moved, and then, you know, I'm now here in another city in the Netherlands trying to, you know, get back get my life in order again. And that's why I got involved in this church and finding the support, being adopted in a new family. And I will also make another video about baptism later on. I think that deserves an whole other video. But people who just joined my channel, I just want you to know that everything about this channel is, we are living in a broken world, but there is always hope. And, you know, keep the humor, keep the laughter, you know, see the beautiful things in nature, enjoy music and art, and there's so many things to explore. And I think a lot of people have talents that they've never discovered because they are stuck in the routine of every day. And I think if you just take a step back and do things that you really enjoy and develop a new talent, I think that you will then do God's will instead of your own will of just earning money, paying bills. Anyways, I'm a little bit off topic with this last part, but yeah, I wrote down that if you build your house without Jesus as your cornerstone, then it's built on sand. It's not stable. So you have to trust on the rock, which is Jesus Christ. And my purpose in life is helping other people who want to be helped, who deserve to be helped. And that's why I'm writing my book. And that's why that has, for now, my priority. Because I can reply people by email personally, but I can also say, read my book. And if you have any questions, then, you know, we'll discuss things further. Because it takes a lot of time, you know, and it takes time away from me writing, actually, the book itself. So, and because I write, you know, in French and in English and then in Dutch, it's like, oh, I have to put everything now in English. But for now, I'm rereading my diaries. Very interesting, because it gives me a lot of proof that me being sick as well as a child, it was not my fault, you know, and I was okay as a child. I was just not loved enough the way I should have been. And that is one of the root causes why I got sick. also later in life again. So I think this channel is good. Sharing is caring. I share my experiences and I tell what faith has done in my life and what could also help other people heal faster. Because you can do trial and error yourself, but if someone has already gone through these steps, then you save some time. And yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. There are a lot of suffering people in the world, and I think we can help each other. So that's my video of today. Bye.